What's up, everybody? RBL Weekly. We continue on with the off-season, and I have an episode I'm very excited about here. As you know, we're running through some of our favorite battles of the season with a little twist. And today, we're going to revisit one of the most popular battles of the season, one of the ones that did the most numbers, got the most comments, and we're going to rewatch it with the people in the battle. We billed it at the time as the most awkward roast battle ever. And we thought, how can we make it more awkward? What if we watch it back with the actual competitors? And that's what we're going to do today.
Great.
John, Ajodah, Malia, Simon, two of the best in New York.
Greetings.
Thank you guys for being here. We're down in Austin right now at the Creek and the Cave. You guys are both battling tonight at the Mothership. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate you guys coming by. Malia, I know you've done the Mothership before. Mm-hmm. Last year you battled Matt Bellick?
Yes, I did.
And it was one of the few that I missed. I was not there for this one, but I heard word back in LA. It traveled very fast. Malia murdered.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it was, I did.
I didn't have a question there. I just kind of set you up to dunk the ball and confirm that you crushed it. So, do you feel the pressure to live up to that performance tonight?
Now I do, I guess.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I can't believe you didn't feel it before.
A little, maybe. I didn't know that it was that people were talking about it in LA type of thing.
It was a Brian Moses thing. That man fell in love.
Oh, really?
I wish he was here.
Well, he fell out of love when he watched this, though. I saw you guys talk about it. I was like, God damn it.
So this is interesting. When I hit you up and I was like, hey, we're going to rewatch this on the podcast. Is that cool? And you were like, yeah, I didn't even think it was bad or awkward until you guys did a whole episode on it.
Yeah. After I was like, he won. I kind of got bodied in the second half, for sure. But I was like, I wasn't hurt or I didn't think it was the most awkward. Well, why did you guys think it was so awkward?
Oh, I'll point it out to you in great detail the moment I can see your heartbreak and your brain stop working, and we'll go through all that. I'll John Madden it with the telestrator, and we'll get into that. The perpetrator of that crime, John Ajodah, the reigning New York champion. You are known for taking these massive swings in battles and doing just crazy off the wall shit. And I don't want to. We'll watch it and then break it down. But the fact that you did this and did it in the first round on the second joke of the battle was to me the craziest thing I'd ever seen.
Well, I figure if you're gonna don't save it till the end, because then at least when I had the guy in the audience start reading his Yelp review of Malia's comedy and they started booing him like he actually said something, I was like, okay, I'm glad it was too long. First of all, it went on, and then I just blamed that guy and moved on with my life. But I think you should set don't start doing the wacky shit once you have confidence. You should have the wacky shit tells the people that you're confident about the jokes. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and it's funny you talk about confidence because I think one of the key factors traditionally in roast battle is to be likable. You're saying these awful things, but you want to be likable. You seem to jump right past that. You're you play the heel, and make it work.
But that's also everybody, they want the good guy in the battle, and you also have villains that you love to hate, and that's fun too. The greatest character of all time is Hades from Hercules, because he's just a big fucking obnoxious scumbag, and he's my favorite fictional character.
He's not actually mean. That's his biggest secret.
So I do want to ask.
He's kind of a nice guy.
I want to get both of your.
People don't realize that.
I want to get both of your takes on this. What percentage of John Ajodah in roast battle is a character versus what percentage is just your real personality amplified?
Well, I don't even know myself, Pat. As a man,
he's doing it right now.
Absolutely.
Do we even know ourselves? But. Yeah, obviously, I think it's especially, we were talking about this in the green room before the show, and not to be misogynist, but I think it is harder to be everybody hates the guy when it's a guy versus girl. I think dude does come in with a disadvantage because no one wants to see. I think a roast battle in general invokes, even if people don't think, invokes the imagery of them hitting each other, and no one wants to see a guy hit a girl, even if it is a fair fight.
It's true.
It's she blah 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 blah. Oh. John's a rapist, and everyone laughs, and then I say I am a rapist, and then everyone gets uncomfortable. So I think I had, so then I have to just be a rapist and be proud of it. And then that gets them on my side.
You lean in more than maybe anybody.
Yeah.
What's your answer on the question? Do you think you know him better than I do, obviously, and I'm a little bit bummed already because I kind of thought you guys hated each other after this battle, and it sounds like you're actually kind of friends, which sucks for the podcast.
Yeah.
But
Well, you got to put on a show, Patrick. You can't
Well, put on a show for the podcast.
Okay.
You're supposed to hate each other.
All right, listen. Can we say that? Or
Absolutely not.
Okay.
We just got demonetized. No. Is the John Ajodah we see on stage the John Ajodah you know off stage?
Not that I know of.
So
I do think if you're somebody who does roast battle and you write like really specific targeted jokes, like the way that he does and the way that I do, like to some extent, like you do think mean thoughts about people. So I don't think he's a mean guy. I don't think I'm mean, but like I think like he's probably walking around noticing what's wrong with everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a pussy. I'm a pussy in real
like,
life. Like I hate confrontation.
I
in real
know,
life.
but I think deep
yeah.
down, like it's not like you would say that in any other context than roast battle, but it's like you can't go on stage. Like it's one thing to be like, oh, he's gay, she's fat, but like when you're like your comedy is pandering and like I'm like you probably kind of think that.
Yeah.
Like like.
Oh, 100%. I firmly believe that John has at least 10 negative opinions on me. On you, on Jimmy, who he just met 5 seconds ago. Yeah. I believe that that John has a Rolodex of things that he hates about people.
Well, it's like
that are way beyond surface level.
It's like how not to compare myself to, but I am. But Batman has a contingency plan for every member of the Justice League, even though he's the shittiest one. You got to have an emergency situation. Like,
see, he's comparing himself to supervillains, so there's
he's actually a good guy,
there's
but
a little piece of it that's
he's actually one of the most famous good guys of all time.
Okay,
but,
sorry, I don't listen to men speak, but
yeah.
Oh, now you're getting what you want.
I love it. He just flips a switch.
Ever heard of him?
Ever heard of Batman? Dummy?
Yeah.
No, that's but do you do you have a well of negative thoughts about everybody in your life?
I make up like roast jokes for people that don't exist.
Wow.
Like it'll be like, okay, what if I ever have a roast battle against like an old black guy from such and such, I'll have like a joke like archetypes of people, and then I try to like plug them in for others, and then I know Malia as a human being and a friend, so I'm like, okay, now I can make things about her. But sometimes I'll just sit and like think about different types of people.
Okay. You don't know me.
I don't. No. But
how long have you guys
I'm trying to give you what you want.
How long have you guys known each other?
A few years, I think.
Yeah.
A few years.
Yeah.
And what is the sense of what's New York comedy like in terms of like specifically within the roast battle sphere? Are you guys like friends, or is it like overly competitive and kind of shitty, or somewhere in the middle?
I don't think so. Like I think, in all honesty, not to talk trash about the league, but I think like the gamification of it is the least interesting part of like the fact that there is a league. I appreciate all the opportunities and everything, but I'm not interested in betting. I know that's like a joke. That's like a joke.
Dude.
The betting odds or whatever. But like win-loss records.
Sure.
Because sometimes it's funny to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's I don't think that should be a negative indictment on the comic.
And that's a really thin line that we try to walk, where it's like, how do you make this thing competitive, but also not make it all about wins and losses, which is why I was like, well, we'll do the podcast. We won't even talk about who wins and loses the battle. We'll rank them based on overall quality of battle and like, the performance that the two people put on together. But then at the end of the day, we do have a world championship. We got to crown a winner and loser. But I totally get what you're saying.
Because my worry would be the bigger this thing grows, and it is, growing so rapidly, is that, a bunch of comics come in who are all about, like, they're like social climbers and social media gurus more about than comedy, who are like metagaming roast battle league instead of like writing funny jokes. It's about more focused on winning the match than... Because the one thing that drives me up the wall with LA roast battlers, they each, and I saw this a lot on the Netflix thing, was they have to get the last word. Every time. It drove, I made my blood fucking boil. Whereas, like, every time you would say something and you would pause for comedic effect, they had to fill the dead air to be the last person to talk, and I just wanted to rip my fucking hair out.
I'm not sure that's LA specifically. It's one of my biggest pet peeves about the league. I think people feel the need to, like, rebuttal everything. And it's one thing if you have pre-planned rebuttals, if you're like, well, John's probably going to hit this about me, let me write something about it. But it's another thing if you feel the need every single time to just be, you know, there are guys who do it, and it drives me nuts because at the end of the day, everything you say should be a roast.
Yeah.
So if you have a rebuttal, you have to fashion it into making fun of the other person. And there are people in the league, like, you know, they'll get called fat, and they'll just be like, it's true, I'm fat, I love to eat pizza. And then they'll do their joke, and it's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
All you did was kill the momentum from your opponent's great joke.
Yeah.
I think they think they're saving face by, they think they're like leaning into it, which is what you said that he does, but like they don't pull it off. So, and they're not really saying anything, like it's not a joke. So it's just like they're not thinking of it in terms of like the show in general. Like you said, it takes the wind out of the sails, which they think is like working in their favor because it like kind of makes it awkward after the last person's joke, but it's just making the show worse, you know?
Yeah.
Like you should like if the other person had a good joke, let it, like I always think you should like let the laugh play out. Like don't try to like cut in front of the laugh because it's like, just let a good joke be a good joke, you know?
Yeah, and I think there's a line between, like, you want a yes end and stuff like that, but it's like not if you don't have anything to say. That's not yes end, that's just yes.
Yeah.
I'd rather have silence than do that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or just let them get their laugh and then you take your turn.
It's like the show starts heating up when both people are doing well. Like just let it build that momentum.
I completely agree. So that's a big pet peeve of mine, and I don't know if it's a strategy for winning and losing, but like definitely could be. It is weird because, you know, it's tough to take something that is, and I'm going to attribute a great quote to Nate Welch here because Nate battled against Andrew Manning at the Mothership in the All-Star game. Andrew used a couple of like thank you so-and-so jokes that Nate had heard before. Nate was upset about that because he's like, I thought it was original material only, which is like a weird, it's parallel thinking. It's tough, right? But then we were talking at the Comedy Store, and I was trying to tell him, I'm like, dude, none of this matters. It doesn't matter, like, winning and losing. What are you doing? You had a great battle at the Mothership. You should feel good. And he looked at me, he's like, oh, I'm sorry I'm taking the thing really seriously that you're desperately trying to get everyone to take seriously. And I'm like, God damn, that's a really good point. Yeah. I've created a whole league, and then when people are like taking it seriously, I'm like, why, this thing sucks. Why are you like being all weird about it, you know? Yeah,
but like for a shout out, Lucas Arnold you brought up, where it's like he loses more often than he wins, but he's great every single time. Yes. So it's like, is his record of like whatever, is probably more losses than wins, but it's like, is he a shitty comic? No, he's hilarious, and he does great on roast, and then it's like, he'll just happen to lose him still. So it's like, you know, exactly what you're saying, but I think he's not half-assing anything or trying to like, you know, not give a fuck because he loses. He still puts out a great joke every time.
Absolutely. I mean, the best people in LA are Keith Carey and Paige Wesley and all these people who have just as many losses as wins because they're big targets, but the battles are always incredible. So speaking of incredible battles, let's stop wasting time. Let's get into this. Have either of you watched this battle since it happened? Malia first.
Yeah, unfortunately I have.
So you've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, John?
Yeah, to edit a clip out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I am excited. I haven't seen this since the original viewing. I'm excited to go back and watch it. We'll pause after each round just to, I got to ask you guys a couple questions, get some commentary. It's a 3-round battle. This was for the title earlier this year. John, Ajodah, Malia Simon championship match. Let's check it out.
Oh, wait, can you pause it real quick? I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Before any of you fucking nerds in the there's nothing wrong with reusing roast jokes.
Oh, I didn't even know that was going to be a controversy.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it.
Oh, you might have just...
Who said you reused a joke?
I did reuse the jokes on you. This was against Leah Kajanian, and then I reused some of them on her because it was like maybe a month after the fact.
Which one? This was first?
No, the LA was first, and then I used
You battled Leah at Netflix.
Yes. And then it was She Looks Like a Medieval King's Daughter.
Okay. I didn't even know there was that
I
controversy.
didn't know that either.
I thought we were
Look
just going
what
to talk
you've
about the
done.
one
Yeah,
thing.
You fucking nerds. You write it then. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let's go.
This calculation. Anyway, give it a... Malia looks like a medieval king's least tradable daughter. Two goats tops, okay? Your hand in marriage will not bring peace to the kingdom. You two-goat value bitch.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah. 2 goat value bitches. Yeah. It's great.
John, I'm glad you could take a break from practicing facial expressions to be here. Why do you seem like you had to train yourself to blink?
You're glad I could take a break from practicing facial expressions. Interesting. Real quick, could I get a volunteer from the audience real quick? Anybody? Sorry, you don't have to stay, but would you mind doing me a favor? Would you read this for me out loud? Thank you. Here, you can have it.
This is just the N-word over and over again. Okay.
Did you write that or did he ad-lib that?
He just said that,
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
No.
Damn, dude, he's killing.
Yeah.
Your friend or?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dear Malia, I'm so sorry. If you are here, who is doing blank is a tired and worn out roast battle trope. It is a cliche framework that has been done to death 1,000 times. Your hope that this audience is simply unfamiliar with roast shows, so you can rely on their ignorance to coast on. By paint-by-numbers comedy is lazy at best, and there's so much more, and disrespectful to the paying audience at worst. Your jokes often feel like recycled cliches and worn-out stereotypes. It's disheartening to see someone with a platform as influential as yours to resort to such tired tropes, especially in an industry that is crying out for innovative voices. Moreover, I'm so sorry.
I feel like he
please
jerks
don't
off
kill
to
me.
this at
Your
night.
position as a woman in
Makes
comedy
two of
is
us.
troubling. As a female comedian, you have a unique opportunity to reshape the narrative and offer nuanced, empowering representations of women. Comedy can be a powerful tool for social change, but it requires courage and creativity to move beyond the easy laugh and tackle more substantive material. Last paragraph. I believe you have the talent and potential to be a voice for change in the comedy world. I hope you will consider exploring deeper themes, embracing originality, and using your platform to challenge stereotypes rather than reinforcing them. Women deserve better representation in comedy, and you have the power to contribute to that positive shift. Do better.
And then I just had to take it away. Yeah.
There was more?
It's like you know what, sir? I couldn't have said it better myself.
All right. As you can see, John has a different way of doing his jokes. Much better than mine. In stand-up, we call that alternative comedy. And by alternative, we mean alternative to having sex.
No, sorry guys. My sex robot self-actualized, so I gotta reboot her. I like to make him look kind of sad. Makes it feel more real. But listen, gang, I gotta be honest with you, I'm a little pissed off because I found out some drama recently that Malia has been going around booking herself on comedy shows using the credit that she is the reigning New York City stand-up roast
not
battle
true.
champion.
It's true.
And at
I
first I was
didn't write
pissed
that.
she did
You
that,
posted
but then
it.
I realized she's also
That
Jewish.
wasn't
You
me.
didn't?
I didn't
You
tell
didn't?
him to say that. Somebody else wrote that.
But you didn't change
Part
it.
of her culture.
Well, I had no power to change that.
You
Right, we're
posted it.
now in the stereotypes section of the show.
Look at the numbers.
John's got this cool thing going on where he's like kind of a douchebag, but also a nerdy Indian guy. It's true. So when he says he's cheating on an assignment, he just means his wife.
Give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a lot to unpack here.
I have a confession to make about the notes. So
Yes.
I had about 3 different versions of that with each type of roast material. So for whatever you did say, I would pull out the note to pretend like I was prepared that you said it. Just the illusion of control, everybody.
It's remarkable preparation.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I have like fucking 4, but I couldn't remember. So she actually said, thank you for being here, something. And then I pulled out the one that said, if you're here, who's doing this? So it was the wrong setup thing because I forgot which pocket it was
Wow.
in. But I don't think anybody noticed. So,
I didn't until
Yeah.
you said that. That's crazy.
That's so interesting, dude.
Yeah, I printed out like 4 different versions of it for whatever you were going to say. And then, yeah.
I love that shit. I also would not want to be on the receiving end of it. I feel like I would hate it so much if my opponent did that to me.
I didn't think they would start booing. Like, I didn't think it was going on that long. I guess maybe in real life it was, but
But you and I are both kind of the same.
Yeah.
I was telling you off air that I battled in Tokyo and I did my closer. I spoke like a lot of Japanese and I wrote this thing that I'm like, I don't think it's that long. There's like a build to it and like, whatever. And afterwards, everybody was like, it was just so long. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't seem that, but that felt long.
Maybe if he fucking read it faster instead of editorializing.
Oh, I mean, he was fucking flying through
Yeah.
that thing towards the end.
Yeah.
He was panicking. What's going through your mind as, number one, coming into the battle, did you expect him to do some bullshit?
Yeah, I did.
And was that level of bullshit what you expected? More than, greater than, less than? What do you think?
No, I thought he was gonna do something like that.
Yeah.
I've seen him roast. I know he does this.
Were you annoyed? You seemed annoyed.
What was I supposed to do with my face, Pat?
I don't know.
What, laugh? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I was kind of playing it, like, I mean, like, I don't know.
You could
like,
smile more. I mean,
Right.
in general. All right.
Oh my god.
like, I mean, I guess a little, but not as much as I guess it seemed. Like,
Yeah.
like I think I kind of played into it because I didn't know what else to do. Like,
Right.
Because like we were talking about, if I went and said he does this, like,
Yeah.
I guess I kind of did in my follow-up joke, but like, if I could have like tried to take the wind out of it, but I felt like that would just be making it more awkward. So I just kind of let it
Okay.
roll. Like,
If it was a defensive strategy, then that's
I'm
fine.
not trying to say I like came out on top. I'm just saying that
No,
I was
I'm not-
working with what I
was
knew how to-
legitimately curious because the
Yeah.
vibe I got was like, oh, she hates this and she.
I mean, he comes across as like such a son of a bitch on stage. Like,
Oh, yeah.
So I do kind of hate him like while we're on stage, but I don't hate him as a person.
Now you won that round, right?
Yeah, I did.
You won the round. You got booed.
Yeah.
Did you, after it was done, how did you feel like it went?
It was a robbery. The liberals got me again.
They always do.
Yeah, you know how there's a cabal of them out to get me. But Chelsea Handler was judging this one too. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. No, I was surprised. I guess, yeah, the booing. Actually, no. In the moment, I was surprised I lost that first round, and I actually was kind of angry. Also, with the thing with like, oh yeah, saying you're the champion, whatever, I was gobsmacked that nobody gave a shit either. I thought that was gonna get. I'll say for what we're talking about, it's like Malia was on a poster for a show and it said roast battle champion, and that hurt my feelings. And so I thought everyone was gonna go, but nobody.
First of all, let's
gave a fuck.
clarify. It didn't hurt your feelings. It hurt your ego.
Which is is a feeling.
That's right. Maybe the only one.
Yeah, that I'm capable of.
Yeah.
But it's not a huge deal. But as Dr. King said, we won't remember the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends.
That's a good point.
Whatever that means.
He was referring specifically to people who were using false credits on comedy flyers.
I bet.
Yeah.
First of all, number one, I was the champion of the winter tournament. Okay, so that is a form
What's
of.
the belt say?
You tell me.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it's hanging up on my wall. New York City roast battle.
And I
champion.
did not tell the person that somebody who made that show flyer like doesn't know roast battle. Because you're surprised. I can't believe you're surprised that nobody gives a shit about like roast battle.
I'm actually really passionate about.
No, please don't. Like, I completely understand. We've built this like weird little ecosystem where it matters to us and nobody else. And maybe someday people will care, and people watching this care. But for the most part, yeah, you get random, audience members. Yeah. Internal roast battle drama.
That was actually like my ego flaring up out of control where I wrote that joke because I was actually really surprised nobody gave a fuck in the room.
That's funny.
So yeah, that's my bad miscalculation.
I used to do that a lot when like my first jokes would be like, Kim's on a 4-battle winning streak. Like that would be a setup to like whatever, and it's just like what the fuck were you thinking?
What am I talking about?
Who cares about that?
Yeah.
Frank is 9-7. All right, so round 1, at this point, do you change your strategy at all going into round 2 because of what happened in round 1, or you're just you're doing your thing?
I was not capable of doing that.
Okay.
I didn't come that prepared. I do wish I prepared a little bit more.
Really?
Yes, I do. That I will concede. That I felt like I actually thought I had a good round 2. We'll see, I guess. I kind of forget what I said, but it was round 3 where I really kind of ate shit cuz I just did not. I don't know. I know him. I know the way that he wrote. I prepared a little bit. Like, I was kind of proud of myself that I kind of handled the first thing. Because usually that is like, can be a trump card. So I was expecting that and to kind of just lose. But I felt like, oh, okay, that kind of like turned against him actually, which was good. So I was actually kind of like seeing a victory maybe. And then I should have known that more of that was coming and had better responses to it.
Well, that's what we call foreshadowing. Very professionally done. Let's just jump into it right now. Round 2. Here it is.
Look, I'm pissed. Dude.
You don't like losing.
No. Winners win, dude.
Well, it's good to know what happens when you give your Uber driver a 1-star review. John is dark and brooding, which counts as a personality, I guess. You seem like you're still plotting revenge for a joke a coworker made about your haircut. That was a good joke, I thought.
That's very good.
They should have given that one. John, if you're here, who's trapping people at a party into a conversation about stoicism? John is a stand-up comedian, a writer, a roast battler, or as his Indian parents call it, not a doctor. But he's had a lot of success so far. He's been featured in the Netflix as a Joke Festival, or as his parents call it, still not a doctor. That's to you.
Goodness, wow. Okay, so Malia went to Columbia. She's got an Ivy League education and a poison ivy vagina. That's why your dog's tongue has
That's
been
some
itchy
highbrow
lately.
shit, dude.
You're really pissed now.
Don't get passionate about the art form now, dude. All of a sudden, she's Mrs. Charisma. Yeah, she's got.
Okay, yeah, I was pissed off there.
Malia looks like the only girl that fucks her professor and then her grade goes down.
That's a good joke.
Imagine having C- pussy. I'd kill myself. Okay. Oh, and by the way, let me just get this out of the way real quick before any of you say anything. We've had female roast battle champions in the past, okay? So the only thing, if she's not breaking any glass ceilings, but if she did, she'd just have her, like, servants sweep it up for her. Like, Malia and I, we honestly don't get along very well at all. We're like Israel and Palestine. Okay, yeah. So I'm Israel.
Someone said
clearly.
Because I'm brown and hot-headed, and she's Israel because she doesn't deserve to exist.
Pandering.
Yeah, you gotta.
Pandering to the radical left.
Yeah.
All right. doesn't deserve to exist. So you both acknowledge that at various times throughout that round, you were pissed off, you were angry. This is what I'm talking about when I say it was
right.
awkward.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, first of all,
I'm glad you see it now.
Yeah.
First of all, I look great. Can we?
Sure.
Yeah, I look tremendous. Look at me up there. Second of all, yeah, when you stepped on, because I was actually really happy with you have a poison ivy vagina, that's why your dog's tongue is itching, and then you spoke up, and then I just couldn't. The worst thing I think to do in that situation for me is to try to start the joke over again.
Sure.
So I'm just going to be like, but actually, your dog's tongue, and so then I just had to move on, and then, yeah, and also, it was not in the spirit of the game, Malia.
To say that?
Yeah. It wasn't in the spirit.
I think it was in the spirit.
In the spirit of competition, it was my time. I had the floor.
Yeah, but dude,
I had the floor.
that happened.
I
You
sat through,
went,
and the whole audience sat through your set in silence. I would have expected you to reciprocate.
Yeah, but you set
politely.
you set the precedent of going rogue, so I thought, okay, like
There is.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
There is kind of a, and I know you're kidding, but there because I did interrupting somebody's minute is uncouth.
Unladylike.
I would agree with that, but you kind of came in with the low blow, the thumb in the eye, round one, and I think she was just fighting for her life at that point.
That's fair enough.
And I don't blame her. Fight or flight mode, I get it.
Well, because you said like, oh, you rely on hacky roast battle tropes, and then you did the same shit. So
I do it better.
I
do it better though.
See, I think he believes that.
It's got a je ne sais quoi, as you know. Which is French for I don't know what, but it's
Yeah. Were you, because you did have in your second round a joke where you were like, John, if you're here, then who's, like, when he did that in the first round, did you second guess your material at all, or you were just, like, committed to it?
I mean...
Because it still works.
If you want to talk uncouth, I think it's a little uncouth to, like, pull back the curtain on roast battle and the structure of what we're doing.
The people deserve better.
Like,
all right, I'm
do
exposing
they,
the Matrix.
They come there. I think this is not I who said it, but now I'm talking like you. It's contagious. Get me away from it.
So isn't it fun to just like be a shit talker? Like it's so much fun.
The people they come to. I think it was like Derek who said this. It's like feeding the pigs their slop. Like they come to like there's like a structure to it. Like it's not like I get on stage during my stand-up sets and I'm like, I look like this, and if you're here, then who's this? But it's like roast battle is there's a.
All right, then why don't you wear like a fucking propeller hat too? Then while you're at it,
I will say 90% of roast battle jokes are like 8 structures. There's only so many ways that people
and then
typically
you work within the box.
And like if we start explaining that to the crowd, the entire house of cards comes tumbling. We can't let them know we only have 5 jokes.
Then write some more formats.
You're like the magician pointing out other magicians. Like that's how he did
that's
that.
What
just
I'm
so
saying.
you know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I think is a little bit uncool.
Okay. But
all I'll say.
Then why don't you do something that I don't know how you're doing it? Be a better magician.
You got to do 13 fucking jokes. That's so many jokes. No, I love at this point, and like we had so many comments on the battle when it happened, and people just loved how like awkward and uncomfortable it was. The woman in the audience when you were like, we don't get along, and just someone in the audience like clearly. I felt that. She felt that. Everybody felt that, and now it seems like you guys, for the most part, do. Were you friends before this battle? You're cool? Like
yeah, of course.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, we don't like hang out, but like
yeah,
we say hi in the green room and it's friendly.
Okay. All right. I guess that's close enough. All right. Well, at this point, so John gets round 2, so we're heading into round 3. Seems like watching it back in retrospect, it's still anyone's battle at this point. Did you feel that way going into round 3, or did you think the whole thing was just fucked at this point?
No, I thought I could still win. I didn't think it was like bad, really.
So he hasn't caught you off guard at this point.
No, it was really round 3, or I don't even know if I was caught off guard. I just realized I like didn't really have much.
I'm projecting. I had a title match years ago against Alex Hooper, who had done every single battle and come out worn t-shirt and jeans and just been himself. And then when I battled him, he came up on stage, and if you know Alex, he ended up taking this to America's Got Talent later, and he came up on stage wearing like a glittery like leotard with a furry tail.
Whoa.
And he passed out glow sticks to everybody in the crowd, and he started talking like a mythical creature. And I was so fucking thrown off that like the entire battle I'm like I felt like I was fighting this uphill thing that was impossible to win. And then I went back and watched it. I'm like, oh, I was in control the whole time. I didn't realize it, and I was panicking for no reason.
No,
So
I
I'm
get
projecting.
what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I think it wasn't that I was like surprised because I knew that he does this. I was just like, I mean, I should have known better. Like, I should have prepared better.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's like, obviously he's going to do this. But I just...
Okay.
I thought it was good enough, what I had. But it wasn't really.
Well, we'll find out. Round 3, title up for grabs. Let's get into it.
Let's start it. Give a round of applause.
Malia looks like her vibrator is powered by a diesel engine. She's gotta turn it
What does
on
that even fucking...
You reused that one too, right? It barely even
let's
worked,
make
and you
this
decided.
What does that
John
mean?
has to
I don't
get
even know
back
what that
to reading
means.
a biography of some dictator. You seem like you got Post-it sticking out of Mein Kampf.
It seemed like whatever I put in your drink is starting to work. All I gotta do is wait it out.
God, I love that one.
understand
You
you
like that
guys.
one.
Actually, it's still my turn. Malia, look. You know, I am Indian, so
My bad. I know you hate when a woman speaks.
when a woman's speaking out of,
I shouldn't have done that.
Doesn't Malia look like
That
that
was-
girl in your high school that takes a trip to the Caribbean and comes back with cornrows? That's a haircut for black people. All right.
Hey, John, he's not asking you, but John dates white women. To be fair, they're all white after the life leaves their body. But
That's really good.
That's probably my best joke, I guess.
Yes. Glad my date's on stage tonight. Listen, you rat-faced mall kiosk perfume salesman. Malia, okay, first of all, let's be clear. Malia is Jewish, but the Jews do not control the She does not control the media, all right? She controls a chef in France by pulling on his hair.
Very silly.
you seem like you call sex breeding. That's the joke.
Whoa!
That's where I
look
lost.
how
Yeah,
confident
that's-
the sarcastic
Yeah.
white girl.
No, that's where I lost.
Yeah, the combination
Yeah.
of it missing.
That was well
What
done.
a unique
Yeah.
and refreshing take to have. I hope she says something monotone and biting. No, I do feel bad for Malia, though. Poor, poor Malia. Not pretty enough to be an actress, not ugly enough to actually be good at comedy.
One, too.
John is half Italian, if you're wondering where the unearned confidence comes from. Why do you seem like you go, you're playing chess, I'm playing
Oh, I
checkers?
fucked this one up.
The chess and
Fucked it
checkers.
up. Yeah.
After each bartender
And he
rejects
did me the
you.
favor of pointing that out.
Oh yeah.
You said that backwards, but whatever. In my personality, I would say chess, but it's okay. You only had like.
In my personality. Let's relax.
Malia reminds me of the Little Mermaid after she lost her job to the black one. But she still needs to pretend to be happy about it because she's a virtue signaling liberal, you know? She's on Twitter going,
Who's the
"Yes,
virtue signaling
queen."
liberal?
Well, meanwhile, she's like, shit.
See, they don't know what they're gonna get from me.
All right, John, I would call you an incel, but I know you got that haircut on purpose. So, No, John has a girlfriend. Actually, they're well suited for each other. You know, they're both artists. So, you know, John has no money or job, and she has no respect for herself.
Bombed.
Well, that's my last joke, guys.
Oh man, lot
Uh-huh.
going on there. John, what'd you think?
So when you wrote that, were you like, this is gonna crush?
What is this?
Where's your pride as an artist? No, I'm
Was
kidding.
it not enough?
It wasn't enough, no, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I was like, we talked about this with before the World Championship one with Pontillo's dead mom roast that I did. It's like, you know, sometimes there's need for the scalpel and sometimes there's need for the sledgehammer, and that was I knew I was probably winning in the third round already, and I didn't need to say you said the joke backwards, but it felt good to say it.
You couldn't not call that out. Like, knowing what I know about you, there's
I
no
couldn't help
way
myself.
you're
I could
not
not-
going to.
It was
that.
there is such a thing as being a sore winner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing.
That I feel like that's
Yeah.
your brand.
Yeah.
Sore winner would be your thing. How do you feel about the accusations that you will shamelessly flip flop between playing a MAGA Republican and a bleeding heart liberal within the same battle?
Yeah, but isn't that funny?
Kinda.
Yeah. So
They don't even realize that's
I was gonna say,
happening.
is it embarrassing
They-
that the crowd doesn't even get it?
Yes.
Yeah,
for
I will
them,
say,
yes.
first of all, for folks, I believe in nothing, okay? I will say whatever I need to say.
To get a laugh.
Whatever the fuck I believe, whatever you believe. If you'll laugh at me more if I shave my head and dye purple or whatever, I'll do that too. I'll wear a MAGA hat. I don't care. I'm not proud.
We can all rest easy now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What did you think? What did you think watching that back?
Well, it's always funny to me in roast battle, like, to see people flip between, like, woman, race, like,
Yeah.
and that's what they do. Like,
Yeah.
you say it's hard to beat a girl, but they always go for the race. They're like, she thinks black people suck, though. Like, so they can't, which I fucking hate that, too.
Yeah.
That's just another form of pandering to be like,
Sure.
and then, you know what? Like, not saying you completely did this. Other comics do it, like, worse. But, like, when they say a racist thing, and then they're like, she thinks that. And then the crowd's like...
Yeah,
"Oh
didn't you hear
my
what
God."
I said she
Yeah,
did?
like,
Yeah.
Who wrote the fucking joke?
It's a cheat code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you had the racist thought. Don't
Yeah.
say I look like I think that, you know?
But that's, I think that's the equalizer in roast battle. I really do, because, like, I think if you are a non-white race, you're at a disadvantage because there's more stereotypes and jokes to do about that.
In real life, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So the evening of the playing field is to then be able to call any white guy a
True.
racist, a rapist, and a pedophile.
True.
And any white woman a Karen who wants to call the cops on
Yes.
black people.
True.
And we live in this world where it's universally accepted amongst the audience that if you're a white woman, yeah, you absolutely want to call the cops on minorities. And,
Fair.
everything within
Yeah.
that sort of realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like about the 13 joke structure more than other cities or what I guess the 5 jokes format, because it's like I can build the narrative about, like, if I only have 5 jokes, I gotta go Malia's a persnickety uptight white bitch, right? And that's all I can do, right?
For
But then-
instance.
and then oh yeah, you're a Karen, I'm a terrorist, I'm an Indian rapist, whatever. And it's like that's all you can say in the 5 jokes because you can't like build a character study. And I think the 13 jokes you do get to know like you get to say whatever you want about me, and then also your personality on stage comes out more.
Yeah, it does.
It's I really prefer it to the 5 jokes.
You get to take
Yeah.
more risks
Yeah.
from a joke writing perspective. Because it's like, okay, I have this joke that I really like, but I know it's not what the crowd is going to be like into. I'll put it in the middle of my second round, and if it eats shit, I'll surround it with stuff that I know they'll like. So yeah, I miss. We used to do the 3-rounders in LA. We don't anymore. And I think they could be a really good vehicle for 2 good joke writers like yourselves. But by the same token, you put 2 people who are not on that level
Oh,
there,
it's brutal.
and they're
Yeah.
just doing 13 of the same jokes they would have done with the 5,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god,
True,
what are
true.
we?
Fair, you know what? Fair enough.
And
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
rapist again. He's
Yeah,
a pedophile
exactly.
again.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it was a really good battle. I think it was a fun battle. I think you're right. I think you know the exact moment where
Yeah,
you
I
lost,
do.
and it kind of
Yeah.
spiraled out of control a little
Yeah.
bit. But overall, I thought it was fun. What's your major takeaway from the battle?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got fucked at the end. I don't know what my takeaway. Like I said, I think I just wish I wrote better jokes. I think I could have written better jokes, and I didn't really.
I mean, that's a fair. Always good to second guess yourself. I feel like a lot of people blame whatever, X factors there are, but always good to look inward and be like, I could have written better jokes. How do you feel? Your jokes were all amazing?
Yeah, no comments. Yeah, I'd do it again.
Had a feeling that might be your takeaway. So, super entertaining battle. You guys, as it stands right now, we are recording this in early October. So by the time this airs, we might have already decided the New York MVP. But as we sit here right now, to me, it is a 4-horse race. It's these two guys right here. John, Ajodah, Malia, Simon, and then there are 2 others. I want you guys to real quick, and we won't be as in-depth on this, but I want you to watch a couple battles between the other 2 candidates, and I want you to give me your take on them as peers, as friends of theirs, and tell me what you think. So the first battle we're going to watch here is from the first ever RBL All-Star game. Eric Asar, one of the New York representatives, going up against Ajodah from the Bay Area. This is a really good battle, and I'm excited to get these guys' thoughts. So let's jump into it. Here it is.
Eric is a Jewish magician. So he's trying to make black people disappear from his neighborhood and make Gaza disappear from his homeland.
John's Gaza jokes were better. I know what you guys are thinking. This white guy's just gonna be racist. And I know what Tanchu's thinking. Oh, please do not be making the fun on the accent, please.
Can you pause it 1 second?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. Eric Asar texted me a voice memo running the accent by me, asking if it was okay. Or not like offensive, but as in the quality Indian accent.
Yeah.
I also received that voice.
He nailed it, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Sounded
He
perfect.
knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, just wanted to disclose that.
Deep has the perfect counter to that, which is to just somehow sound even more racist Indian than Eric was trying to make him be. Let's play.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric. Tile dysfunction. Eric can control the weather, but he cannot make his woman wet.
I like Deep. I do. I'm happy to be here roasting him and not in the break room while he microwaves his weird lunch.
That's so good.
That's funny.
By the way, Deep asked me to say this. After the battle, please stay on the line so you can take a brief survey.
Yeah, Eric looks like he runs a call center to call the cops on black people.
There it is.
Eric told me he does a lot of psychedelics so that he could experience ego death. Eric, you are an unemployed magician. Your ego should be dead.
Is he really a magician?
Thank you, tall, dark, and hands-free headset. Only $19.
He committed less on that one.
Deep Tachu is Indian, and he hasn't had a girlfriend in like 4 years. I'm surprised. I was told you were charming by the basket of snakes I asked.
Yeah, you asked the wrong snakes. You need an eye for that. Yeah.
That's funny. An eye for that.
His girlfriend's favorite sex position is the Jewish tunnel. Yeah, that's the one where she fucks him in the nose. His favorite sex position is 69, Yeah, that's where they both rub their noses together.
I want to do rebuttals, but I can't understand. All right.
It's fine, I'm speaking a language I don't know. The crowd can understand.
Oh, you're doing so great, buddy.
Oh my god.
Deep Tachu, doesn't Deep Tachu look like he would get bullied by Siri? Like, I feel like he spends most of his time working up the courage to wear the new Hawaiian shirt outside of the house.
No, I'm dating Siri right now. It's a fun relationship. Eric, he looks like he complains about inflation. Because of rising roofie prices. Every woman who has had sex with Eric, they have described it as the Holocaust. Yeah, it never happened.
It's funny.
Love a good Holocaust denial.
Thank you, Aziz. I'm sorry I have to put you on hold. Deep Tachu, I feel like we should wrap this up. He has to go look at any blonde woman.
That's just true. Yeah.
He's
I mean, why are we wasting our time here?
he's got to go look at any blonde woman and whisper to himself, "Oh my God, she is perfect, angel." I feel like when a waitress asks you if you have any questions, you say, "Why have you not answered my Instagram DMs?"
Yeah, and you look like your favorite porn category is nasal, so.
He really went in hard on that the nose shit.
Was that 5? That felt like more than 5.
That was 5. Yeah. They were getting a lot of laughs.
Yeah,
That
they were.
yeah, that went on for a bit. I love just because I've been there with the strategy with Eric where he's like, I can't do 5 racist jokes. So in the 4 spot, I'll put an observation about wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
So true.
And then he's like, I'll jump right back into the racist accent
you
in
can
the
tell
call
what he
center.
really wanted to do.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. This is just so nobody could say I did 5 Indian jokes.
Yeah,
He's got a
so
vision
true.
for sure.
Yeah. So you battled Eric.
Yeah.
Earlier this year.
Uh-huh.
He took away the win against you.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Eric as a battler?
He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's really funny. He's like, I think it's impressive how well he's done because I think he's kind of unlikable. Not as a person, but like on stage. Like sometimes it's a battle of sympathies. Like you saw there how he sometimes will say one thing that kind of pushes people against him. Like
Yeah.
it's more delicate with him because like he's just like a white guy.
What was the
tall
thing he
white
said
guy.
in this battle that got everybody weird?
He said like, I can't understand what you're saying.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something. He got a little too real with the racism, and then they were like, oh, maybe this guy's actually racist.
When Texas pulls back.
Oh, exactly.
On the
Yeah. Yeah, they
racism.
fucking clapped for the guy being like, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
but like, I think it's like a testament to how funny he is that he still wins a lot. Because like, I don't think he's really... he's never really positioned as the underdog.
Yeah, I think he's super underrated. Like
Yeah.
every Eric Asker battle I see, I think he writes really
Yeah.
funny stuff. And his Indian accent was on point.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. What are your... Have you ever battled him?
No, I haven't. Name a time and a place, and we'll make it happen.
I love it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Yeah, no, he's great. I think I've judged quite a few of his.
Yeah.
And then I think he usually comes out on top. He's really, really good. Loves Hispanic women.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a taste for the pico de gallo.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Good for him.
good for him. He's a man with a dream.
Absolutely.
But
Was
yeah,
that necessary to share about him just now?
Yeah, sure. Why not? What's he gonna do about it?
Once you pass like the hour mark of the
Yeah.
podcast, it's like we're just throwing Hail Marys out there. We've run out of things. How many ways can you be like, this guy can really write a roast joke? You know? So
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to talk about their...
Well, talking about that. So
dating.
like for when we were discussing like the 8 or 9 ways that like structures of a roast. Here's
Yeah.
something that this occurred to me while watching this one is that these roasts don't happen in a vacuum. Like, you have a whole show of roasts. So what happens when everybody keeps saying thank you, you X fucked Y?
Yeah.
Then that's where my conniption is, where it's like, well, swing for something else, even if it's not necessarily like,
And one thing he did there, and it's not so much in terms of structure, but in terms of observation. And this is my favorite thing about you, and I've talked about it on the podcast before, but you observe things that I never would. Like when you battled Kiki Anderson and you said, if you're here who's going up to like 20 somethings at a bar and whispering, enjoy it. I might have butchered the delivery on that one, but it was just such a, like, I would have never thought about that in a million years. And then when you said it and I looked at her on stage, it all just clicked. It made perfect sense. I love people who can write like that. And Eric's observation, because look, if you're sitting down and you're like, I want to be racist against Indians, there's probably 20 things that are at the top of the list. Way down the list is the fact that their lunches smell terrible in the break room.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
we do that on purpose, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
What? So what's why?
It's part of their cultural takeover. India will be a superpower by 2025.
Okay.
So we're just getting you guys used to that.
Well, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I used to work at a pharmacy, and I could not. I had to eat in my office. I couldn't eat in the break room because it was terrible. But that was a
good one.
Like that was an observation where it's like, God damn, I would have never thought about that. But that's great.
Yeah, he's good with specifics too.
Yeah.
He like we will brainstorm sometimes, and he's always trying to think of how specific you can get, or just like, I mean, I think I go more. He's good at accents and stuff. He goes more racist. Like, he's good at that shit.
Oh yeah.
I like doing like character flaws and like just their vibe. Like, you just kind of.
Yeah, I've said before, it's like you get to the essence of a person, and I guess that's not exactly what he was doing. He was just coming up with more niche racism.
Yeah.
Which is also impressive.
For sure.
Yeah. We got one more battle here, and this is a guy who, across 2 seasons of the Roast Battle League, has never lost. I believe he is 9-0. And from what I understand, he will be ending his season going for 10-0 against this man right here.
Yeah, we're locking it down. He's
Wait, when is that?
End of October, I think.
Yeah.
So he's the first main event I ever did for a roast battle was at Comedy Fight Club a couple years ago. I think 2018 it couldn't have been 2018, maybe like 2019. Anyway, first main event I did against Andrew Manning, and he fucked me up really bad because I never wrote that many jokes before. So that's like pretty devastating loss that I think about a lot.
That you've been trying to atone for 5 years.
Yeah, I still come up with comebacks to things he said in the shower today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, I was looking forward to it anyway, just because it's a great battle. But now knowing that you're extra motivated and trying to avenge that loss 5 years later,
I beat him at pool really bad the other day.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Well, this is a battle he had at the mothership earlier this year, going up against from Denver, Spaghetti Jake. Are you guys familiar with Spaghetti Jake?
I love Spaghetti Jake. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I am.
Oh, well, buckle the fuck up.
Okay.
It's time for the
excited.
Spaghetti Jake
Okay.
experience against Andrew Manning. Here it is.
Denver, Colorado, New York City, let's roast!
Me and Andrew talked before this battle. He told me one of his favorite hobbies is woodworking. I was like, oh, so that makes you a handyman? He was like, no, I use my mouth and sometimes my ass. I guess the only time Andrew uses a hammer is when he's attacking women in New York.
There he goes. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Buffet.
That's good. Yeah.
Walked right into it.
I'm honestly surprised he wanted to go first, considering how much he loves seconds. And
Nice.
yeah. Now, the name Spaghetti, he actually got that nickname because that's just his favorite thing to eat. It's a cute family tradition started by his mother. Come.
This guy's doing too much. It's not about you, buddy. All right. Logan Paul over there.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I'm pretty nervous going against the guy that wears booty shorts at the gun range. I didn't know
That's
that
pretty
Hello
funny.
Kitty was
I like
sponsoring
that.
school shooters nowadays. This is great. Andrew, if you're here, then who's laying on their belly, kicking their feet, writing a manifesto?
Yeah.
Thank you, Tartaritaville. I think it's, after all these years, it's great to see that Rogan finally got Bigfoot.
He didn't. I don't think he got that one.
No, not at all.
My opponent
Well, he doesn't wanna be
Spaghetti,
seen
when we were
speaking ill
talking,
of
told me
Big-
that he hadn't
no,
dated
Joe
in 10
Rogan.
years, like it was his choice. As if women are throwing themselves at him, and he's like, no, I have a code. If I can't see my penis, nobody can.
That's funny.
You. This GoFundMe Ted Bundy is Andrew Manning. Andrew sells security cameras as long as it's installed in the bathroom and he gets to watch.
Thank you, special feeds. Yeah, spaghetti. Sorry, just fat moron. Okay, got it.
It's a great
Spaghetti,
recovery.
Yeah, that was good.
Spaghetti started learning music at 15 during his midlife crisis. And
Oh, that's great.
he only got into
I
it
like
because he
that
heard
one.
Every Good Boy Deserves Fudge. So it was...
Midlife crisis at 15 is really good.
You don't deserve fudge. Fucking asshole.
Why did we mute this? I have no
Andrew had
recollection of this.
testosterone therapy in his early 20s. In other words, he did some gay shit in college. He was tired of looking like a lesbian. And Andrew, I just want to tell you, you don't look like a lesbian anymore. Now you just look like a boy with a pussy.
Yeah, my blood did have low T, but yours still has A1. It's good to be here with one of the top 10 comics to Sasquatch. Jake is fat and autistic.
Two
and
insides.
that must be tough, because he's never going to get his dream girl. You know, where are you going to find a plus-size model train?
Last joke.
Roblox Flanders. It's a shame Andrew's girlfriend couldn't make it out tonight. I assume it's because she goes to another school.
Really? That's been
And
so
it's a school
overdone.
night. Andrew actually recently had a pregnancy scare, but then he realized you can't get pregnant from scissoring.
Regardless of how this battle goes, the only one really losing to Spaghetti is your body. Yeah. Spaghetti's dad lost their family home playing poker, but it actually brought them closer together. He was like, "It's okay, Dad. I also don't know when to leave a table."
New York.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, I had forgotten that we muted one episode because we were getting demonetized for everything, and then we muted everything, and we still got demonetized, and everybody went nuts in the comment section and yelled at us, so we stopped doing that. That's what that was. Andrew Manning, he's super proficient at writing roast jokes. He just he knows all the angles to hit. He writes the jokes. They're accessible to the crowd. It's just really funny shit. The observational about he showed up wearing the Hawaiian shirt. He had Jimmy Buffet and Tartaritaville and all that.
Jimmy Buffet was good.
Have you battled Andrew?
I never have. No, I never have.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Andrew Manning or Eric Asker, who's better?
Malia Simon.
She took a play. That's straight out of your playbook.
Yeah, but you see how we barely laughed. No, Andrew Manning's way better. What are you talking about?
Really?
Yeah, he's the strongest contender
Wow.
in New York City and probably in the world.
Wow.
I think he's really, really great. He's really brilliant. Terrible pool player. His girlfriend left him a couple months ago.
I don't know that he's that much better than. I don't know that he's that much better than Eric.
I think they're both really
they're
good.
different styles. Like Andrew can be like a little more hack sometimes, dare I say. I think hack works often, which is
Elaborate.
why people do it.
Yeah.
Like in big rooms especially.
Sure.
Like fuck. I can't even remember. There were a couple of the thank yous that I was like, oh, okay. The clever, the wordplay things, like, maybe it's just a personal preference. Not my favorite as much as the, like, Eric being like, funny, like, I'm going to do the accent and just the bigger swings, you know, like.
Well, that was Nate Welch's biggest beef when he battled Andrew at the All-Star game. Was Andrew got big laughs off of "Thank You American History XXL," which may be the most played out like roast battle joke of all time. But then it gets in a weird area for me. Oh, and Cold Stone Steve Austin, which I've heard done a few times before. But like it gets in a weird area for me because people are looking at me like suspend him. Like he's reusing, like it's the steroid era in baseball. Like there's no testing. I don't know if he heard somebody say American History XXL or it's just like parallel thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like there will always be that.
Yeah.
Like even the midlife crisis at 15, like I did that against Paige Wesley 3 years ago. But at no
point. That was
point.
my favorite one.
At no point. It's a great joke. I know. I wrote it. But at no point as a judge was I like, he fucking stole my joke. No.
Yeah,
it's just
it's
like
a little presumptuous. And what are you going to have, like a joke auditor on stage checking out if people are stealing or like even not even stealing but reusing? Like for me, it's I get all the time, not 9/11 but 7/11 or vice versa. And I'm like, okay, I don't think you stole that, but you know, I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it said a million times to me personally, and it's like, all right, you know, let's move on with our lives.
We are talking about coming up with, and there's like the comment section is like always divided on this, but like some people want us to put together a list of jokes where it's like you can't ban them.
Oh, that's funny.
But it could be like when we're evaluating them for the podcast, like it can cost you points.
Oh, I like that idea.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have somebody developing one currently, and I think they're on page like 17.
Oh
like,
my god! I would love
so
to look
many.
at that list.
I'll get it to you.
Okay.
All right, well, Pat, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
One joke or type of joke you got to get rid of if you had the power to strike from no more at roast battles.
Structurally, I think the thank you so and so has to. You just got to tweak. Even the way he just said fucking Roblox Flanders. I preferred that to thank you Roblox Flanders.
Yeah.
I'm so over the thank you.
Yeah.
Just got to tweak it a little bit. But when it comes to like subject matter, I am hesitant to do this because I said a few weeks ago I was like, autism train jokes.
Yeah,
I've heard
yeah.
enough with the
Agreed.
autism
That's what I
train
was-
jokes.
Yeah.
And then the very week after I said that, Jack Trainer from Scotland had the best autism train joke I've ever heard.
Oh.
And it's like, all right, well, I guess
What
maybe
was it?
he was battling Shalaka Karup, and he said that she has a PhD in trains, which she does. I don't know the technical title.
What does that mean? Like
My wife said the same thing. She's like,
Yeah.
how do you have a PhD in trains? I'm like, I think it's simplifying, but engineering, I don't know. And he said, I forget the setup, but the punchline was sometimes you get autism and sometimes autism chooses you.
Oh, I like that.
And it was just like, it was
Yeah.
really, really good. And he did a whole act out and everything, and it was great. So that's why I'm hesitant to be like subject matter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't do that.
Yeah.
That's that.
But in
don't
terms of
ban.
structures, the thank you so-and-so, the 7-Eleven, 9/11 has to go. Along the same vein for like Indian guys, I think that Eric drained the well of the quality assurance jokes. That's been done. Middle Eastern throwing acid on women for reading.
Couldn't there be an argument, though, if you're hearing a lot of 7-Eleven, 9/11 jokes, then write a really funny rebuttal for it?
Well, first of all, who gave the fucking this guy permission to speak?
Thank you for saying what we're all thinking.
Who the fuck are you?
Jimmy jumping in.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think accounting for the other person's shittiness, I don't want to waste my time doing that. But I hear what you're saying. I could do that. I probably do have a but then all of a sudden I am now reusing my comeback. Like you have the same 7-Eleven joke, I've got the same comeback to the 7-Eleven
John's
joke.
got a leftover piece of paper in his pocket that says 7-Eleven 9/11 jokes are hack and have been just hand it to an audience member.
For me, it's I don't really see it in other places, but New Yorkers do this a lot. New York comics where they do the something blah blah blah. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But they never, and which doesn't bother me too much. But the thing about they never act it out properly because they're too worried about the bomb of reading that. That's like Malia is this blah blah. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Malia is gay. But they never act out like they've actually misread it. They just say the joke like they're delivering a joke.
Monotone the whole
Like Malia is today. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Malia is gay. It's like that's not how you should do that.
I've also seen people not read it and still use the exact same words. Like they're not looking at anything.
I read that wrong.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Is there a teleprompter?
No.
That one drives me up the wall.
That's a great one too. Do you have one of those? Like a format where you're just like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, a format. Yeah, the
this.
thank yous are kind of annoying, I think, and usually not funny. Or they're usually like wordplay, which is...
I do like when they get into like a thank you battle. It's like, well, thank you fat fuck. Well, thank you, you blah, blah, blah. And then it just becomes like a thank you pun off.
Yeah. I think, I mean, if there were one thing, it's like, I get what you're saying about, like, for people who aren't white, it's like, well, you need your stereotype for white people, which is like that they're racist. So that's fine, obviously, like, fair game. But, like, the, like, crossing the street when black people are around, I think that one is so overdone. Like, or there have to be others like that. Like,
well, I mean, as white people, we should stop doing that. I think the moment we stop being racist against everybody else is the moment that
comedy dies.
Yeah. That wasn't what I was going to say.
Hello,
but yes,
Austin.
What's that?
No. Well, no, not that they can't do those style jokes, but they're like specifically, I feel like I've heard crossing the street.
Yes.
A lot, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I could do with a little less pedophile humor across the board.
Uh-huh.
I think we've I think we've kind of done all that can be done there.
Yeah.
Someone needs to fuck a child on stage.
Uh-huh. Should we end there?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good night.
Seems like a good place to end. Thank you for getting us demonetized at the very end there. We were about to make $87 off of this podcast, and then you brought up literally having sex with a child on stage.
No, I didn't.
John Ajodah, Malia Simon, my guest today. Thank you guys for doing this. Good luck at the battles tonight.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. All right.
Thanks
Bye.
for having us.
Yeah.
Bye.